Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today in our Nexford virtual tour webinar. We are just going to wait a couple more minutes for more people to join us. So in the meantime, if everybody who's joined us so far can just introduce themselves on chat, I'd love to know from where in the world you're joining us from today, as well as which Nexford program you're interested to apply to. So are you looking to pursue an MBA or a BBA or perhaps a short certificate or single course? Let us know. Also, let us know if you're joining us from Nigeria or somewhere else. Like Godwin, for example. Hi, Godwin, from Nigeria, and you're interested in an MBA. Fantastic. Hey, we've got Michael. Hello. Hi, Ikra from Pakistan. Pursuing an MBA. Fantastic. We have Michael from Ghana, Peace from Nigeria, short course. All right. Have you got your eyes on a specific course? Hi, Val from UAE. BBA, okay, fantastic. We've got a couple of BBA aspiring learners here, so that's good. Paul from Lagos. We have Andres from Ghana wanting to enroll in an MBA. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. I think we can wait another minute before starting the webinar as more people start to join us. We have Njenga from Kenya. A lot of people. Nana from Nigeria. Benita is into a BBA. All right, and I see that we're getting questions already, which is amazing. So that we even having to ask you guys to send in your questions, so that's good. I think we can get started. So I'll just start with introducing myself, everyone. My name is Mai, and I'm a senior Nexford Application Specialist. I've been with Nexford for going on 4 years now, and during that time, I've spoken with so many aspiring learners such as yourselves, and one of the most common questions I get, of course, is how exactly will I be studying online at Nexford? How is the online learning experience like? That is what I'm here to show you guys today and to tell you more about that. And of course, I've got some lovely people on board with me today to help me with this. We've got a faculty member, Dr. Bill. We've also got 2 learners. We've got Tolulope, and we've also got Stephen. So I would love for them to introduce themselves also to everyone. If we can please start with Dr. Bill.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're enjoying your summer, your winter, wherever you are. That's how far we reach here at Nexford. We cover a lot of territory and a lot of geography. I've been with Nexford a little over 2 years now. There's a good chance you'll see me in your first courses as you join on board. But thank you for your time today and for joining us. And I hope you have your questions ready, and I hope we can provide you with some information. As I mentioned in the chat, I live about 100 kilometers south of New York City in the United States. I do travel fairly frequently now, but this has been my home. And I really enjoy working with the international community that we have here at Nexford. Asia, Indonesia, Europe, Africa. We cover the globe. So I look forward to talking to you over the next few minutes and hope we can answer your questions. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Dr. Bill. Happy to have you. If we can also hear from Tolulope, if you can introduce yourself and let everybody know what Nexford program you studied, as well as maybe a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's afternoon here in Nigeria. My name is Tolulope Babatunde. I'm an alumni of Nexford. I graduated last year in March. I currently live in Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm working with a wealth management firm as a wealth advisor. So it's glad to have you here, and I'm looking forward to answering your questions and sharing my experience as a Nexford learner, when I was a Nexford learner, and now as an alumni. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So happy to have you. Thanks, Tolulope. All right. If we can also hear from Stephen, if you can please introduce yourself also and let us know what Nexford you're studying and maybe a little bit more about yourself. Is Stephen still with us, or did I think he might have dropped out?
Yeah, I think he did, Mai.
Okay, all right, no worries. We can get him introduced hopefully once he's able to join back in. I think we can just get started then. For anybody just joining us, guys, just to let you know, you didn't miss much, just introductions. And the webinar is being recorded. So if at any point you need to dash out of the webinar or you'd like to watch a playback after it's over, just let our team know and we'd be super happy to send you the recording. And most importantly, we're here to help answer any questions you guys have about the online learning experience at Nexford. So if you have any questions, please don't forget to send them in the Q&A section, the Q&A segment, so we can answer your questions at the end. We also have a lovely team member in the background answering your questions in the meantime until we can get to the Q&A portion of the webinar at the end. So she'll be helping out with that also. And yeah, I know some people send their questions in the webinar chat. That's okay too. We'll try to get to them there. But we might miss some. So I think the best place to send them is in the question and answer portion. So we can make sure to pick that up. Okay, we'll start sharing my screen. Oh, fantastic. I think we have Stephen joining back. So perhaps before I start sharing my screen, I'll just give him a second. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Stephen. Can you hear us?
No. Oh, Mr. Chairman, where am I going?
Okay, I'm not too sure Stephen knows he's with us. No worries, I will just share my screen, guys. With a show of hands, if you can maybe raise your hands or say yes or something, just let me know, everyone, that you can see my screen now. Thank you, Dr. Bill. All right. Always the first to let me know. Okay, awesome. 8 people, 11 more. Okay, many people are raising their hands. Okay, that's good news. So we can get started. So what everyone is currently looking at is the dashboard of the online learning platform, right? So once you apply and you get enrolled at Nexford, you will automatically have access to this online platform. You'll get your login credentials and everything and be able to access our online platform. So the learning management system that we use is called Canvas. If anyone's done online learning before, there's a chance you've already had an experience with this learning management system. It's super user-friendly. And at Nexford, the great thing is that there's also an application through which you can access your program. So, and it's called Canvas Student, whether you're using an Android phone or an iPhone, you can definitely download this from the store, download the application, search for Nexford University and use your login credentials to be able to access your program online. So that means you can study on the go, on your phone, no matter where you are. I'm getting a sign that my internet's a bit unstable, guys. I hope everyone's still able to hear me just fine. All good? All right. Okay, cool. So yeah, so everyone can download this application and like I said, still access their program on their phone. And it's fully functional too, which means that you can check your grades, you can do your assignments, you can speak with learners and professors and so much more. All right, so let's go back to the main homepage here. So this is the main dashboard of the online platform, and you'll see these 4 boxes in the middle. And each one of them represent different things, but mostly they would represent the courses that you get enrolled in at Nexford. So this course right here, Leadership and Organizational Development, is an example of an MBA course, whereas Roadmap to Success is an example of a BBA course. Whereas the NXU Orientation, as well as the Writing Lab, those are 2 different things that I will explain to you guys. We can start off with the NXU Orientation. So whenever you see NXU, this stands for Nexford University, and you'll get well acquainted with that term, hopefully once you get enrolled. So the orientation is kind of your welcome package once you get enrolled at Nexford. So it is a much shorter course than any other Nexford course. So for example, if I were to show you leadership and organizational development, you'll find that The way that it's set up is the way every Nexford course is set up. So they're all designed in the same way. You'll find these sort of table of contents. If you go to the modules section, you'll see that there are 6 modules. So that's module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These modules include 5 assignments that are graded, and then there's a final project on which you'll get graded as well. That's a total of 6 graded assignments, and every course is set up with the same number of modules and the same number of assignments, graded assignments anyway, all right? Whereas the orientation, you'll see that it's half the size. This only has 3 modules. And like I said, this isn't a core part of the program that you get enrolled in, but it's a course that you have to complete before you can start your official Nexford program. So if anybody decides to get enrolled early, the great thing is that you'll already have access to the online platform. You'll have all the time to finish the NXU orientation before your actual program starts. So in case you don't already know, or you haven't spoken to anybody in our team yet, or haven't had the chance to do the research or gone through our website, I'm happy to let you know that Nexford's programs start in the beginning of every month. So it's not like some traditional universities with specific intakes or semesters in the year. You can literally apply any time and choose the next intake available, which would be on the beginning of the next month. So for example, for anybody enrolling in February, the next intake you can join, the soonest one you can join is March 1. After that, if you're unable to join March 1, then obviously you can go for April 1st or May and so on. All right, so if you choose to get enrolled this month, you can actually choose a future start date up to 3 or 4 months ahead, which means the latest that you can join, for example, is June 1st if you get enrolled this month. And that means anytime from now until June 1, for example, you'll already have access to the online platform. You can have all the time in the world to complete the NXU orientation. And you also get early access to all of the Nexford Learner benefits, which I will go over later on today. But I think we can get started with the orientation first. So I can show you guys how that looks like. This is the introduction part of the orientation. Right from the beginning, you'll see that there's a welcome video from our founder and CEO, Fadl Tarzi, and he tells everybody a bit about Nexford and how we got started and a bit about our mission. So I'd like to play this for you guys just for a few seconds.
It's been said that the future is a convenient place for dreams, so why not dream big? I've always known education changes lives, but I first realized its impact over a decade ago. On my entrepreneurial journey, I saw a gap between the skills of college graduates and the needs of employers. With my own startups, I struggled to find people with the right competencies. For example, I couldn't find a software engineer with effective communication skills. I couldn't find the creative designers who could plan. I thought to myself, is this why unemployment stats of college graduates grab so many media headlines? And it's not a graduate's fault.
It's just a sneak peek for you guys. Hopefully you can watch it in its entirety once you get enrolled at Nexford. But I just want to let you know that this video right here is just one example of the different and dynamic elements through which you're going to be doing your studying at Nexford. So it's not just going to be a lot of text. We don't want our learners falling asleep. You'll find that sometimes there are embedded videos like these. There are YouTube videos, links to outside resources you'll need to read through, little exercises, audio clip, and so much more. So there's always something to keep you engaged. And for any videos like these, you'll often find there is a written transcript that you can download, which can be super helpful. So as you go through the orientation, we start to tell you about things you can join from the beginning that can help you with your Nexford learning journey, such as joining the NXU learning communities, which are led by other Nexford learners who are also experts in certain industries of which you might be interested in. So for example, if you are into entrepreneurship, I would recommend joining that one. Otherwise, we have finance, we have HR, and we also have marketing. And then, of course, we have learner WhatsApp groups. So it's great to have a study buddy from the beginning. So I recommend these as well. You'll find that some of these are intake specific, country specific, or program specific. And we always have new learner WhatsApp groups starting up every now and again. In case you don't find one in your specific country, just let our team know. And you can even start up your own WhatsApp group. All right, and as you keep going forward, you learn more about the Nexford benefits, you learn more about what we have to offer, all the different offerings, and you go through the university starter kit. So you're gonna know everything you need to know about our policies, about how you can add courses or remove courses, how the courses are ordered, can you take a leave of absence, which by the way, definitely you can. If at any point you need to pause your program, just let our team know. So there is a pause allowance or a leave of absence allowance that everybody gets depending on the program that they're studying. And sometimes we can offer an extension depending on your case. So we will help you out because we understand that life happens and some things are out of our hands. So of course you can pause your program at some point. All right. And so as you keep going through, of course, you're going to learn about all the different deadlines, when you need to submit your assignment. You're going to be well acquainted about all these details, so you never get to miss out on anything important. And as an expert learner, you will be given a free license to Microsoft Teams or Microsoft Office rather, and all of its programs, which you will need to use while you're studying. And then you'll learn about all the support system that you basically have throughout your learning journey. One of which is the success advisors. So this is, you'll be hearing these, this term a lot. So these success advisors serve as your sort of coach or your mentor throughout your Nexford program. All right, so they're there to help you out with anything learning related. If you need any help with the online platform or reaching out to a professor, or you're struggling with anything specific, they're there to help you out. There's 24/7 access to them. So we have success advisors from all around the world that are ready to help you at any given point. Hey guys, so this is just a sneak peek of the orientation. Of course, like I said, you'll need to complete the orientation before you start your official Nexford program. And it's going to let you know everything you need so you know how to navigate through the online platform. And by the way, there's this Ask NXU tool also here, which we consider our virtual advisor. Don't forget about that. It follows you no matter where you go in the online platform. And so if you have any question that you feel you don't necessarily need to reach out to your success advisor for, you'll definitely find the answer here. You can search for it if it's quite, a common question that we get. For example, how can you resubmit your assignment? You will find a response for that. And then otherwise, you will find an email address of who else you can reach out to for further assistance. So as I'm on the subject of, finding who else you can reach out to, everybody can also find out who is teaching the course that they are enrolled in to start in the beginning of the next month. You can even tell who are the learners that are with you in that course simply by going to the people section of any course. Of course, it'll include more people than you're going to currently see in this list right here. But if you check role, some will be students. And then, of course, you can search for who the teacher is. So, for example, for this course, it's Dr. Bill. So I'd love for this to be an opportunity for Dr. Bill to jump in and let us know a little bit about this course.
Sure. Excuse me. Thank you. You will see that these courses are laid out extremely well. Some of the best I've seen in my experience. I've been doing online graduate work for over 23 years now. So the content of the courses are focused. They are directly related to outcomes you need to know about these topics in your workplace. They are very geared towards information that'll help you at work. Many times in this course and others, we have examples coming from our students and our learners using the information that week at work. It's that timely, it's that contemporary. So it is very, very solid from that perspective. You see on the column there, it says home, announcements, modules. These are the different areas of the course. You can get your grades. There's a chat area. And one of the places I'd like to show you, first of all, would be the assignment area. If you could just click on that, I'd appreciate it. Or
yeah, sorry, I cut out Dr. Bill, but I did share my.
Yes, I just figured that out. Thank you. I can do that. These are the written assignments that are due in this course, as Mai mentioned. There's 5 of them. These are sequential. In this course, you will see milestone 2, milestone 1, when they're due, how they're set up. Each of these explains the assignment itself, and you're able to read what the assignment is, what we're looking for. In each assignment, you will get instructions like this about how the final project works. In this particular case, you'll see it's a combination of both milestone 1 and 2, and of course, the conclusion. This does require some slides to show your organizational change plan, and it goes on through the entire course, or the entire assignment, I should say, and it just describes how you will want this done. One of the key things I always remind people to look at is this area right here. This is called the grading rubric, and if I can ever get directly set on it, you'll see what I'm talking about here. The rubric is actually your roadmap to completing the assignment. Each rubric has a number of criteria. Topic comprehension is the first one, and then you'll see the 4 ratings that you can get for topic comprehension, and we explain each one. If you are a little short in your explanation, if your answer to this particular area is a little light, you'll receive notes from your instructor. We call that feedback about what you might have done to make this area better. And we go right through these various criteria, providing a solution to the problem, critical analysis skills, which is really important in the master's program, simply because we may not know the questions you will be asked as a graduate 2 years from now, but if we can show you how to analyze, how to critically think, we can teach you how to do it, whatever those questions may be down the road. So that's an important component of the analysis. And then there's a few remaining ones. Reflective writing skills, APA is required. I'm not going to go into it now, but it is simply a writing style used in most business schools, so that you write your papers in a professional manner and in a standard format. That's it. So if you use these rubrics, we call them, on the assignment, you'll have a really good chance of just describing what we're looking for you to learn in that assignment. I also like to caution people on the onset of thinking about this. Getting A's is really great, but you know what? Getting the information in your head is more important. Getting the A grade, I mean, we get many people that are really, really solid. I have to get A's, I have to get A's, and that's great. It usually relates to learning. It doesn't always. So that's why I want to remind everyone, it's the material and the learning you get that's the most important part. If you get an A- or a B occasionally, well, that's life. It happens. But concentrate on the learning and the skills that are being delivered in this particular course. You're able to see your progress in the grade area, and you will have your own grade area. No one else sees it, just you and the instructor. This lists the various areas of the course. This is a sample, so don't be, Mai could do much better than this in real life. These are not her real grades. So
I hope not.
these are just samples of what it looks like. You will get feedback on every written assignment. You will have the opportunity to talk to your professor. Once a month, every professor holds an open session so that you can join a call similar to this. The professors come with no real agenda. We base the time on your questions. On my sessions, I have topics to talk about, but I would rather answer your questions about a particular assignment. And we can go right through each of these tabs that you see here. In the yellow area is the broader one. You list your courses, the calendar that you keep. This is for your internal email, and so on right down through it. One of the components that we have is LinkedIn Learning. I think Mai will touch on this a little bit later. The value of LinkedIn Learning is enormous. As a learning tool, there is so much information there that you can absorb and help to support the main topics that we feel we want to share with you in the area. A tip: when you're in a course, try to prioritize your time to include your coursework. I don't care if it's 2 minutes a day. Every day, try to do something. Touch this as often as you can, and the finish line will appear quicker than you think. Don't try to worry about the whole program. It would intimidate me. But if you break it down in pieces, you say this week, I'm just going to worry about this very first point here about the assignment, and I'm going to work on just the first part. I'm going to understand what the final project is, and I'm going to work on these various case study. This is actually the first assignment here is a case study. It's module 2 of this course, if I remember correctly. And I'm going to worry about that. And then the next assignment will use your skills that you acquired in that. You'll use the feedback you get, and then you'll go to the second assignment, which we refer to as milestone 1, where we talk about culture. And on and on. You break it down into pieces, and before you know it, you'll be invited to your graduation ceremony. The timeline is pretty much your own. We have to maintain some framework for you to work in. It's a requirement of our accreditations, which I'm sure Mai will mention here shortly about some of the news, the exciting news about accreditation we have. But we have to know where you are, not by our own choice, but just to prove our quality. We have to know where our students are in these different processes. And so that you're not just in a course drifting around and going wherever you want. There needs to be a structure. So that's why you see some guidelines and some timeframes involved. It is a self-study. There are dates involved. We certainly know life events happen. People get ill. People have emergencies in the family. Children get sick. Whatever. It happens every course, every time. It happens to all of us. Happens to me. I post apologies. Hey, I forgot to post this on time. Whatever reason. But we're adults. We can handle this. We understand it. We work in this environment. So the important point are the learning objectives of the course. My own philosophy is, if we have a deadline for Friday, I really suggest you work towards the deadlines. But you know what? If something happens and I don't see your assignment till Saturday morning, the world's still going to be turning when we get done with this. So we can deal with it. The important point is the learning. I don't care if you learn it on a Friday morning or a Saturday morning. That's not the important part. It's really focused on the outcomes. We have an excellent way to monitor this to assure that the learning that we have proposed and the learning that has been approved by our accreditor is being transferred to you, so that when you graduate with your degree, MBA in this case, or whatever degree you're going for, it truly represents a level of additional learning, additional tools in your personal toolbox that you can use. MBA degrees, doctorate degrees, bachelor degrees, they will help you get into opportunities, but you will still have to be the person that they want to hire. You will need to demonstrate your sharpness, your awareness of the topics, demonstrate your abilities. We can help you with that. So just keep in mind, the degree itself is just another tool for you to move ahead in your career or your personal growth. We have many people taking these courses just to learn, lifelong learners, we call them. And it's fine for that. So whatever your objectives are, share them with the advisor when you're coming in. Make sure we're aligned with what you want to do, and give it a shot. I think you'll find it's not as scary as it may sound. I remember when I thought about me going for my master's degree, I was a master's degree. Who thought that Bill Reed would ever be working on a master's degree? And here I am 24 years later, sharing how to do it with you. So things happen, opportunities come up when you have these type of degrees in your toolbox, when you have additional learning that the rest of your neighbors may not have. So it is certainly valuable. It's been said many times where the best investment you can make is in yourself. And this is one of the ways to do that. We can answer many of your questions that you may have about each of these individually. And I'm happy to, if you want to talk between now and later, whatever those timeframes are, I'm happy to talk with you aside from the meeting today to go over some more details. But I think the assurance is that through these courses, you can achieve the goal of obtaining your degree, whether it be bachelor's, master's, whatever. And the content is very relative. That I can attest to, because I constantly get stories every week how somebody took some information that we covered, brought it to work, mentioned it to their supervisor, mentioned it to their colleagues, and implemented it within a week of figuring it out. I mean, that's phenomenal. That is what this is all about. I'll be around through the entire meeting today, so if you have questions later, I'll be happy to answer with you, but I'll turn this back to Mai so we can get on to the other topics that need to be covered. Thank you, and I look forward to answering your questions shortly.
So much, Dr. Bill. That was fantastic. I hope everybody learned a thing or two over there. And I think I'd like this opportunity also to address a question to Tolulope just about the learning experience also. If she can tell everybody just a bit about her studying style with Nexford and how you managed your schedule around your life. Maybe I wasn't too clear. Tolulope, I don't know if you can hear us. I wanted to ask you a question here.
Hello, question for me.
Yes, I'll repeat the question, sorry. So I was just asking if you can tell everyone just a bit about your studying style, how it was with Nexford and how you managed your study schedule around your life.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, studying with Nexford was completely different from my study.
Sorry to cut you, Tolulope. There's a bit of an echo. I don't know if everyone's hearing that as well. Yeah, there's a bit of an echo when you're talking. I'm worried it might be difficult for people to hear.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better?
It's still echoing, so sorry. Not sure if it's the...
And those of you who are worried about technical challenges when you're taking your course, here's an example of how we can work through everything.
Okay, is it better
This
now?
happens a lot, particularly in different regions of the world where internet may be good one day and not as good the next day. I go through it and I'm 100 kilometers from New York City. You think I'd have great internet. It goes down here as well. So we're used to that. So don't be overly concerned about the technology aspect of this. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mai and Tolu.
Okay, is it a lot better now?
It's still echoing. I'm not sure if I can...
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think that's okay. If you're unable to fix it, I think everyone's still able to hear what Tolulope is saying.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay, for me, learning style was completely different from my undergraduate learning style in the sense that Nexford was strictly online. Secondly, when Bill and Vera introduced you, said something about orientation. I would advise every student or intending learner to actually go through the orientation process. For me, I missed part of the orientation process when I started. And one thing with Nexford is when you're answering your assignment and your case studies, you have to make use of it. There's a format, there's the style of writing that was different from the kind of style of writing I do in undergraduate days. Nexford uses the format style of writing. So there's always a class or training on how you can go about the style of writing. You need to make sure reference, citation, plagiarism is not allowed. So for me, when I submitted my first assignment, I actually failed it. So I was actually perplexed. I was like, wow, why should I fail? So I contacted my course advisor, the lecturer, and the instructor advisor, and the lecturer explained that I didn't use the style, right? There was no reference in my book and all of that. So I had to actually go back and study all over again and actually understand the kind of format of writing. And that's part of the things already embedded in the orientation program. And most times there's always a class in case you're having challenges on the kind of format to write and all of that. There's always a class that you can actually register and attend the class to understand. And even have one-on-one with the tutor.
Sorry to cut you, Tolulope. I think the echo is still not helping. I think some people are unable to hear properly. Is there any chance you could try to maybe log in, log out, log back into the webinar? Or if you're using two devices, you might want to make sure you're muted on one of it. It's just unfortunate if everyone's not really able to hear. I'm sure the great stuff that you're trying to tell everybody that could be really beneficial about the online learning experience. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties can happen to everyone. I think until Tolulope can come back, I will just start sharing my screen again and showing everyone a bit about the online learning. Okay, can everyone see my screen again? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so I will go back to the main dashboard, guys. So earlier we did talk about the difference between programs or rather courses, as well as the NXU Orientation. I want to talk a bit about the online platform also, and the things you see in the left side navigation pane here that kind of follows you no matter where you go, also in the online platform. So first of all, of course, the account is where you can change certain settings and things like that. Courses will show you an overview of the courses that you're currently enrolled in at Nexford. And then the calendar is, of course, where you can see any reminders for assignments or submissions, any deadlines or events. Some of them will be automatically added to your calendar depending on what you're enrolled in. And you'll see that they are color-coded, which is something that you can actually control from the main dashboard here simply by picking different colors for the courses. The great thing is you can also click on color overlay, just little fun things you can play around with in the online platform, where you can personalize it to yourself. And that way you can know what event belongs to, what course. Of course, you can add your own event also simply by clicking anywhere. Just put in the details. There's also a to-do item that you can add. And if you want to flesh that out a little more, just click on more options, put in more details, and save that into your calendar. The great thing is that our calendar can also be synchronized with your PC or your laptop. And of course, if you download the mobile application, Canvas Student, then you can synchronize that also with your calendar on your phone. Yeah, here's where you put in any info, create the event, and it's that easy to create an event in your calendar also. That way you'll never miss out on any important reminders or assignments and so on. And then the inbox is the easiest ways that you can communicate with anybody. So you open the inbox, you will see that you receive announcements from faculty in your inbox also. So this is from Caroline Fernandez, our writing lab coach, and I'll tell you guys about that in a few seconds. But I'd love to first show you how to compose a new message. So it's this easy to communicate with anybody. Just pick a course that you're studying, for example, leadership and organizational development, and choose whether or not you want to speak with a teacher or a student. So let's say a student named Abigail. Just select that, put in your subject and your message, and send. And it's that easy to send a message to a learner or a teacher. All right, so now I'm going to tell you guys about the writing lab. So I mentioned earlier that these boxes represent courses that you're enrolled in, except for two things, right? Which is the NXU Orientation, which we went over, and then also the writing lab. So this is something you always have access to throughout your whole learning journey at Nexford. Once you click on that, it takes you to the writing lab page to tell everybody more about it. So we know that not everybody's a natural born writer, and for the types of assignments, and requirements that you have during your program, you may be asked to be using things you haven't tried before, such as APA formatting. And I know that Dr. Bill mentioned this earlier as well. So this is a type of formatting you're going to learn how to use during your studying at Nexford. And of course, the writing lab can also help you improve your academic writing. It can help you improve your English skills and so much more. So there is a module section for that also. You'll see here, a lot of them could include some papers and articles that you can read related to certain topics. There are also videos, so if you need help with English grammar or paragraph structure and so on. And then we have some FAQs, and so if these still don't answer the question that you have, the great thing is that you can simply go back to the homepage of the Writing Lab, and scroll to the bottom. You'll find the little bio for Caroline Fernandez, who I mentioned is the Writing Lab coach. And if you click on this link, it's her booking link. It takes you to a booking page where you can book a 30-minute call or 30-minute session with Caroline. Just pick the date that suits you and the timing, for example, depending on your time zone, put in the info and book. And it's that easy to have a 30-minute call with Caroline. The alternative is these sessions that she regularly holds. So you'll see that she announces them, like I showed you earlier, in the inbox. These drop-in sessions, you'll find them also being announced in the writing lab page at the top. So I would really recommend these drop-in sessions if she holds them regularly. By that I mean probably every week. I would recommend you join these if you'd like to be joined by other learners from around the world. We have as many as 100 learners at a time joining these drop-in sessions. The great thing is she will let everyone know what topic she may be covering in these sessions. They also get recorded. There can be a PowerPoint presentation that can then be downloaded by you. And like I said, it gets recorded, so you can always watch the playback. So it's one of the really beneficial things in relation to writing also. So I really recommend you guys check those out as well. So that is the writing lab. I know we have Tolulope back. I would love to ask her some questions, but I just want to confirm first if the echoing has been solved or not.
Hello, am I still echoing? Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you perfectly now. I hope everyone can hear you fine too. Amazing. Okay,
Yeah, that's
cool.
very good. That's fine.
All right.
Okay.
Guys, thanks for everyone for being patient with us. So I think I'm gonna address some questions again to you, Tolulope, now, so you can tell everyone a bit about your learning experience at Nexford. I'd love to hear about that. So I was asking you about your learning style with Nexford and how you managed that you're learning with your schedule.
Okay. Sorry everybody about the network earlier, but I'm back now. Regarding my learning style, because I was working full time while studying at Nexford, and the way the assignments and the modules are scheduled, you need to submit every week. So what I did was I ensured at least every day I spent a minimum of 1 hour studying, and I used like 2 days to finish my case studies. The reason why this is because kind of courses, the kind of responses Nexford wants you to respond on your assignment, because you have case studies. Aside you studying the material, when you're answering your assignments, they prefer to use real life case studies to explain. Then secondly, they have a format for writing, which she just spoke about, which is you can actually register on the writing lab to be able to understand better. One of the challenges I had initially was I didn't complete my orientation because I was deadline. So I just started the course, the module immediately. I did my first assignment and submitted, and I was perplexed when I failed. I was like, what does this mean? Why should I fail? So I contacted my the course advisor, my success advisor, and also the professor handling the module. And the professor said, oh, there's a writing style you're meant to use for your memo. It's called the HAPA writing format, and you can actually read up about it on Writing Lab. Of course, I read about it, I understood it a little, but I needed more understanding. So I just booked a session and a one-on-one session, and they guided me through on how the Writing Lab was. First of all, based on that Writing Lab, when you're submitting your assignment, you're meant to make references, you're meant to use citations, you're meant to use a format and the kind of font and all of that. And there's no room for plagiarism. So if you're copying somebody else's work, by the time you're submitting it, there's a software called Turnitin that would actually say if and I'll tell you the percentage of plagiarism. So it was very, very strict. So what I just did was I ensured that every week, at least in a day, I spent at least 1 hour studying, and I actually find time to actually submit my assignments. So that's how it was, combining working. Then the advantage of Nexford is that you can extend when you feel that, oh, you're getting overwhelmed, you have so much to do. It took me 2 years to complete. Some people finish theirs in 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, but I had to actually take time off some assignments. If I couldn't submit within a week or two, I had to contact my success advisor and my lecturer to give me time off. So the advantage of Nexford is very flexible. So if you can't meet up, you can actually ask for an extension or take a break and resume back. So that's why I said it took me 2 years to finish.
have we lost Tolulope or Dr. Bill? Can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay, fantastic. Sorry about that, Tolulope. I think the network disconnected for a second. Can you please continue? I think people are loving what you're saying.
Okay, yeah, so that's just a brief explanation of my learning style and what I did to be able to. Then another thing with Nexford is that there's discipline. There's something called discipline. You can't just decide to say you would come in and you're not submitting your assignment or your models. There's always a reminder, a pop-up telling you this time is due on so and so day. And when you don't submit and you don't contact your success advisor, you're not carrying the form.
Oh, it's so unfortunate the network is against us today, guys. I know she has a lot of things she can share with a lot of aspiring learners, but unfortunately, it's one of those days where technology, I think, is just not working with us. I will give her a few seconds then to hopefully get back and continue what she's saying. I do appreciate everyone.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
No worries. It's good to have you back.
Okay, so I said one thing with Nexford is that if you're not meeting up with an assignment, you have an opportunity to actually contact your success advisor. They are always supportive, regardless of the time of the day. There are times I sent a mail to them as late as 12 midnight, and within 2-3 hours, I got a response back. If I find out I am not able to meet up with my assignments or my deadlines. Secondly, you need to carry your also the professor along in charge of the course. If you notice you're experiencing delays, there might things that might happen. You might fall ill, you might have family obligations or family incidences that might actually stop you. So as long as you have a verified evidence of what's happening and you send a mail and you carry them along, they're actually very, very supportive, and they're supportive in your learning journey. Also, if you read this material and you don't understand, and you want to book a one-on-one session with the lecturer that actually handles the course, there's a calendar where you can actually book the day and the time, and you can have a one-on-one session, like a live session, a video session with the lecturer to actually explain maybe a course or how an assignment you're meant to answer it and you don't have an understanding about it. Aside that, there are also support groups for your class. When you're starting the course, there's a discussion group where you actually introduce yourself and you can familiarize with others actually taking the course. You can actually chat them. Then there's also a WhatsApp group for we learners, where if you're having challenges and you need to speak to anybody and say, okay, I'm having challenges with this course. I've actually contacted my lecturer. He or she has explained, but I'm still not understanding what is being said. And I need, maybe further clarifications or explanations on how I should go about this assignment. You also have the support group of other learners where they can actually share and explain and guide you through. One thing I'll say is that plagiarism is frowned out. So you can't actually copy somebody else's work. It has to be your own content. It has to be based on your own understanding, in your own English, in your own words. So another thing is, as much as possible, you can actually make use of the writing lab. So the writing lab might not just be one-off. You might have to sign up for classes regularly, especially when you get stuck. Or you do an assignment and you're graded and you don't like the score and you're like, wow, I answered this very well, but why am I getting the score? Why am they saying I'm not having enough citations or references? So it's
Okay, I think it's the network doing its third attack. So until she can get back.
I'm very sorry about this. It's because I used another device because of the echoing. So it's actually throwing me out. I'm sorry about that. So because it's a learning experience that actually gives you a broad understanding that you can actually understand, that makes you understand what's happening globally and actually happening in your environment. So that's just a brief summary. I don't want to keep going on and on and on. There's so much to actually share regarding my learning experience while I was a student. And I'm sure in the course of this webinar, I'll also share my experience now as an alumni and the opportunities I've been able to get with the Nexford MBA.
Definitely. Thanks a lot for that, Tolulope. I think that was quite interesting for everybody. And you did actually answer a lot of the questions I would have wanted to ask you. So I think you've more than made up for the network issues. So that's fantastic. I will start sharing my screen again, guys. I think the last portion I want to just quickly go over. I know we're running a little overtime here. So just quickly go over some of the learner benefits everybody gets as well. So we talked about all the different things in the left side here, right? You'll see at the bottom, there's something called LinkedIn Learning as well as library. So at Nexford also, as an expert learner, you get unlimited access to over 60 million resources that cover so many different topics and industries around the world, and that is through our NXU library. Just loading up here, guys, but you'll see that it has so many different topics. You can even jump to a specific group if you like. The great thing is that all of these include encyclopedias, research papers, and articles, and so much more. It's a great research tool for you as you're studying at Nexford. So like I said, over 60 million resources. So that is a lot of information that you can really benefit from there. And then there's LinkedIn Learning. So if you haven't heard of LinkedIn Learning yet, it is, of course, related to LinkedIn, and it is where you as an expert learner also will have access at no additional cost to over 16,000 LinkedIn Learning courses and videos. They can cover so many different topics. They don't necessarily have to be related to the program or the course that you're studying. And the great thing is that when you complete any LinkedIn Learning course, you do receive a certificate of completion that you can add to your CV or your resume. And so I know we touched up on this also throughout the webinar, but I did want to show you guys how that's going to look like. And it does show your employer or your community or whoever that you are learning on the go. You're not just waiting to complete your program. You're learning additional skills in relation to it also, and skills that you can apply right away. So you can learn much more about the different learner benefits through our career page on our website. So just everybody can go to nexford.org/career and learn about all the different ways that we help you with your career during your program and even after graduation. So one of those platforms, of course, is LinkedIn Learning. And if you are based in Africa, which I believe a lot of the people in the call are also today, so the great thing is that you can have access to IBM Digital Nation Africa. It is for those that are more interested in tech-related courses, maybe programming, AI, cybersecurity, and so on, then this is the place for you. And we also have Localized. It's a great platform where you can create a profile for yourself. You can get connected with career coaches and mentors around the world, and so much more. That is just one of the many benefits, guys. If you scroll at the bottom, you'll also find the global grid, and you'll also find Forage. So I recommend you guys check that out as well. So there is a page, a website also for the global grid where you can learn more about that. So what is the global grid, you might be wondering? It is a mentorship program, right? And it is designed to enable talent around the world to prepare for remote jobs. So there are going to be these live webinars that anybody can join, but then there are these group mentoring sessions that are exclusive only for Nexford learners. And our mentors come from all around the world, and they work at top companies like Samsung and Coca-Cola. Okay, there's a lot, honestly, to unpack about the learner benefits and the online learning experience at Nexford. So I do thank everybody for joining us today. If we weren't able to cover everything, you can always reach out to our team if you have additional questions. And I know a lot of people have some burning questions they've already been asking throughout the webinar, so I thank you for that. I think we're close to wrapping up. So before we do, I would just love to ask Tolulope just a final question for everyone. If you can just tell everybody about your Nexford learning journey, also in the sense of what how you feel that it changed your life so far, and what would your final advice be for any aspiring learners hoping to study at Nexford?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, life after graduation, one thing Nexford learning experience was it equipped me for a leadership role, a leadership opportunities, in the sense that in my before I left the organization I was working with before, it was in the financial services too, in the banking sector. I was a middle management employee, and after my MBA, based on the learning materials I learned, because one thing about Nexford is that it prepares you for a global opportunity. You are abreast with what's happening currently in the world and how a business is run, how things are meant to be done, how things are meant to, you look at things from a strategic perspective and all of that. I was given a senior management role in my current organization. Aside that, I started getting a lot of offers on LinkedIn from other organizations, and I was able to transition to another organization where I actually got additional responsibilities and a higher level, and of course, definitely a higher pay. So that's one of it. Secondly, it actually improved my confidence in the sense that I'm more knowledgeable about a lot of things. My writing skills increased greatly because, you know, like I said earlier, for every module, for every assignment, every course you do, you're meant to submit an assignment. There's a memo format. My presentation skills increased because there's some assignments you need to do using the Microsoft PowerPoint, where you're actually meant to even do a video of your presentation and speak about it. So your presentation skills will actually improve because you learn a lot of things. You learn how to use a kind of formatting, like an A3 paper. You learn to do a lot of things, make use of shapes, diagrams, and a lot of things. So my soft skills basically actually improved a lot. And those are things that you actually need to prepare you for the future of work, basically, because everybody needs some soft skills. You need some tools that you actually need. So it actually improved my confidence. It helped me in terms of my soft skills and all of that. Then the fact that I actually met a lot of people. I met fellow learners from different countries. I remember our graduation last year, September, where we traveled to Washington and we had a tour and we actually had the graduation ceremony. I actually networked and met with a lot of my colleagues that most times we're actually chatting on the WhatsApp group that we now met face to face. And I've actually developed relationships from them. So it has helped me in terms of networking, in terms of building new relationships, not just within my environment, but outside my environment, outside Nigeria, outside Africa. It has improved my confidence. It has helped in terms of me being more employable in my workplace and actually in my locality and actually globally too. And has actually improved my skills because those skills are things you're taking with you. It's a lifelong skill. Nobody can take the knowledge you've learned. So that's one of the things I'm actually leaving with everybody. Lastly, when I have an opportunity presented to you, as much as possible, do not procrastinate. Grasp it. The advantage of Nexford is that you can actually pay on a monthly basis. So if you're having financial struggles and you can't continue, you can actually take a break and continue after. And the the courses are actually affordable because when you're looking for another online MBA in other schools, you're going to actually pay like triple what you're paying with Nexford. So just grasp the opportunity. You can pay on a monthly basis. That's one of the attractiveness of Nexford in terms of payment. So make use of the opportunity and take charge of it. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Tolulope, for that. I can see we have a couple of fans that are thanking you. We have Olawole also on the Q&A saying that they're really inspired with everything that you've said. So thank you so much. And also saying my MBA foundation has really been given a great value for me and the organization I work with. And I'm sure the MBA has more to give. I'm super happy to hear that. We have Nathaniel asking, I need to be asking them IBM is new version. Not too sure what Nathaniel means here. I'm not sure if maybe Tolulope or Dr. Bill can help with this. If not, then our team member in the background can also help with that. All right, let's see what other questions we have. I do see that a lot of people asked about the big question about, accreditation and about recognition. So I do want to say this to everybody on the call with us today, and I'm super excited to announce this to everyone who has joined us. So in case you don't already know, Nexford University is now accredited in the US by DEAC, which is the Distance Education Accrediting Commission. So the DEAC is listed by the US Department of Education as a recognized accrediting agency and is recognized by the Council for Higher Education Accreditation, which is CHIA for short. Everybody can find that information also on our website now. This means a lot of good things, of course, for a lot of aspiring Nexford learners. For those hoping, let's say to immigrate, to Canada or somewhere in the US, this means it'll be easier for you also, and there is a process in place for that. So if anybody has questions about, Nexford's accreditation and what that means, please don't hesitate to reach out to our team to learn more about that. We're happy to provide you definitely with more information. That is not to say that we don't also have a license, of course. We always have had in Washington, D.C. by HELC. We're also accredited by ASIC in the UK. So there's a lot more recognitions that we have, which you can learn more about on our website. First, the big news definitely is the US accreditation. We're super happy. Okay, let's see. I know we have had a lot of questions that have already been answered, and that's really good because I know we're running over time here. And I do thank everybody who's still on the call with us. I hope everyone's learning more about the Nexford learning experience. And for everyone saying thank you, and it's a great session. You guys are wonderful, honestly. I know we had some technical issues today, so the fact that you guys have still enjoyed this and we're able to get really the benefit of the information that we're providing you in regards to the Nexford learning experience is super. So thanks a lot, everyone. I'll just try to answer just a few more questions here, and if we could not get to everybody, just make sure to reach out, of course, on our help box, send us an email or WhatsApp us. All right, I think I'll send just one question Dr. Bill's way from Supreme that says, how is the assessment carried out? Can one contest his or her score?
You submit an assignment. The instructor gets 5 days to review it and give you feedback. Final assessments are reviewed within 3 days. Many faculty have a shorter schedule than that, but those are the maximum time periods. Yes, you can appeal your grade. The easiest and first step to do so would just be to contact your instructor and say, Dr. Bill, I think you missed something. Would you look at my assignment again? And I am happy to do that because I am like you, human, and I can miss things. And I don't mind being reminded to go back and relook at something. I'm happy to do so. I want the feedback to be truly reflective of your work. So for that reason, yes, you can ask your professor to take another look. And I want to point out this, and I'll go look for that. And if I was wrong, I happily change the grade on something. Should you reach an impasse with the instructor and your own opinion, then there is the process in the school to do so, which is a little more involved, and have a committee that does this and some people that would help you with that. But to answer your question without going into a 20-minute response, yes, you can appeal your grade. Although in the two years plus that I've been here, I've not had that problem, other than when someone would say, hey, Dr. Bill, I did have references in there and you didn't see them. And I went back and sure enough, it was on a separate page. The format changed a little bit and I didn't see it. So other than those type of little issues, yes, you can question the grade. You can question everything. Somebody's around to answer any questions you have. So that's a pretty clear and straightforward process.
Amazing. Thanks a lot for that, Dr. Bill. I hope that answered your question. I'm sure it did, Supreme. We will wrap things up, but there's just like two questions that are too good to pass on. One of which is Stella's just asking, if one wants to attend a graduation in the USA, how will this work since this is 100% online MBA? I'm glad you asked this question. I know a lot of people are dreaming to also be able to attend the graduation ceremony actually in the USA. So the great thing is, even though we are 100% online, it is true that we hold physical graduation ceremonies. We have actually held our first one in Washington, D.C. just last September, end of last year. We plan to hold the next one, I believe, next year. So stay tuned. The date might change, but it is definitely possible. We will be helping you guys with a letter for your visa, an invitation letter. Will we be helping with more than that? You can find out from messaging or emailing our team also to see how else we may be able to help you. So we had learners travel to Washington, D.C. to attend the ceremony there. if some people are unable to travel, that's okay. You could still, it's still amazing to graduate from the comfort of your own home and in your own country and still earn an American degree. And we are doing our best to hold local graduation ceremonies wherever we can, where we have a lot of Nexford graduates. So we did do that in Nigeria also. So if you graduate in Nigeria, there's a big chance we can have a graduation ceremony for you there. We've had 2 already. You can check out the photos for all of those things, by the way, guys, on our Facebook page, Nexford University's Facebook page. So you can check out how it was when we celebrated there in Nigeria as well as in Washington, D.C. So it is possible, Stella, and we super look forward to celebrating your Nexford graduation with you physically, wherever we are in the world. And then I think this last question, which is not so much a question, but I think is the best way to top off this webinar, is Christian Ezra, who's asking, please can we have a summary of all the questions asked here and the answers to them for reference? So that is fantastic. And I think that can benefit everyone. That is definitely possible. So please reach out to us on WhatsApp or help, so we can make sure to send you specifically all the questions. We've had over 50 questions, by the way, guys, if no one has noticed. So a lot of them have already been answered in the background, and I'm sure a lot of them will be super beneficial for those who have joined today. So we'd be super happy to share those with the attendees that have joined us today. So if anything's missed, just you know where to contact us. You have our contact information on chat. Just don't hesitate to reach out and we can help you further. And finally, thank you for your time. Thank you for handling all the technical issues that we faced today. We super look forward to you joining us in our next intake, or if not, then whichever intake works for you. Thank you so much, Dr. Bill, also for your time today and for staying on with me. So thanks again, everyone. Have a good day or good evening. Bye.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.